Elijah Mitchell still not practicing today.
Yep.
And then tomorrow's the walkthrough. So usually if a guy can't even be limited, which means stretch, go through the, the non-contact drills, the warm-ups, it's not looking good unless the guy's a perennial all-pro. So my best professional guess is that Mitchell's doubtful at this point. He's not officially doubtful, but looking doubtful. And then Trey Sermon has been limited all week. As long as he passes the final concussion test, I think he'd be good to play. Not sure what kind of a workload would be responsible, but right now it's looking like the running backs are going to be Sermon, Patrick, Cannon, and maybe someone they call up from the practice squad. What do you think of starting Sermon?
Well, I mean, again, we were at camp. He was running with ones the entire time up there with Mostert 1A, 1B type thing. So, I mean, this is, I feel like, something that they've always envisioned anyway. I mean, I don't think that they wanted to have it under these circumstances when you think about all the injuries and those things. But you're absolutely right. I don't expect Mitchell to play in this game unless something miraculous happens. And what people have to understand is that, Sermon, I had people ask me, oh, he's in the protocol. How's he practicing? Well, you can technically practice and still not be out of the protocol. So he just has to clear the battery tests at the end of the week. And once he should be ready to go. But I would suspect Sermon's going to get a large share of this. Just because he's the one that, you can really trust at this point. What do we know about Trent Cannon? What do we know about Patrick? We don't really know too much about that. So, I mean, I would expect that Sermon does get the start and probably gets more than enough of the work.
I would think, at least if I were doing it, I would want to use like a real even split in the committee because I don't know who's going to be good. And I'd be nervous about overusing any of these running backs because you do want to run as much as possible. Like if you could hit 38 runs again like you did last week, that's your formula for success against the Packers. And I don't know if they can do it just with one or two running backs.
Question: would you be shocked? Right. Would you be shocked if Deebo Samuel took some running back snaps in this game?
I wouldn't be shocked, but he's having such a good season as a wide receiver that I feel maybe Kyle might feel like, that stage of his career is over and we're going to focus on him getting like 2,000 receiving yards. Or maybe he'll feel like, Deebo, for the good of the team, we need you to do this. My question is, well, no, that's, I mean, Jalen Hurd can't come back in. So, I mean, George Kittle's not going to play running back. So what are your options here?
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, and I'm not even talking about like extensive snaps. I'm talking about like maybe like 2 or 3, back there. They did it against the Pats last year with him as well too. So it's going to be interesting to see how they yeah. I think they kind of have to and even if it's not just straight handoffs, they still find a way to just either just the touch pass or something like that. So I expect Deebo to be more involved in the run game a lot, like, more sweeps.
Agree. And if he's more involved in the run game, that means that someone else is going to have to freaking step up in the passing game. Wonder who that's going to be this week.
I know
Kittle or Ayuk. One of you, both? One, both?
Kittle, I think this is Kittle's week.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about Ayuk a little later. But Trey Sermon, if you're a fantasy football player, it's looking like he might get some carries this week.